I want to start this video off by asking you a question. Have you ever wanted something so bad that you feel like the entire world would end if you didn't get it? Or maybe you wanted a position, maybe you wanted to make a team, anything, you wanted it so bad that you just had to have it. And by having to have it, it seems like it just got further and further away. What's up, travelers? Prince Nick's coming to you from the Centerverse, and today I want to talk about outcome dependence. And I want to talk about how this actually limits us. It limits our expression and the emotions we'll put out to the world. It limits our ability to just push through and makes us self-conscious, makes us micromanage everything we do. And most importantly, it limits our assertiveness or our ability to put our ideas or put our personality out into the world. So I want to talk about some of the reasons why this happens and how we can start to overcome outcome dependence. So let's get right into it. So you're walking in a meeting, you're walking into an interview, you're trying to pitch a big idea. And what happens? You're so eager for the result that it just seems to move further and further away. You just need it, right? I just need it so much. I have to have it. If it doesn't happen, then my entire world is going to come crashing down. What's happened here is you've become outcome dependent. You stop loving the process itself, and you've started to get into needing the result. Now, why is this a problem when it comes to business? Because of course, anything we want too much of, it begins to move away from us. I use the example of walking through a park or somewhere similar to this. And say you're walking with friends, maybe family, and a homeless person just comes out of nowhere and says, "Hey, can I get some change?" What happens? You just immediately want to move away because you just feel that need. When you saw him walking a couple feet away, you said, "This person's going to ask me for something." They feel needy, and you immediately shut down and you say, "Nope, don't have anything, don't carry any change," whatever the case may be. Seems like an extreme example. But how is this much different when we're talking about outcome dependence or trying to pitch an idea? When you come in, you have that look in your eyes like, "I need it so much, I need it so much." People move away from you. Let's take another example. Let's say like a friend. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have friends who call you all the time, and all they want to do is talk about their problems. They want so much emotional investment from you. They'll call you and tell you about how bad their day is. They'll call you and tell you about how bad their week is. They'll call you and tell you something. They just want you, they just need something from you. And every time you see their phone message or every time you see them calling, you say, "Oh, I don't want to talk to this person because I know they're going to want something." And this is the same thing when we're pitching an idea. This is the same thing when we're going to an interview. When you want something, it starts to move away from you. You think, you know what, you've placed such a high value on it, whatever the case may be, whether it's resources, whether it's money, whether it's a position. You've placed such a high value on it that now it's beginning to move away from you. So how do we resolve this, or where does this come from? It's estimated that we evolved from 150-person tribes. And of course, if you carried out certain actions in a tribe per se, that would come back on you. That reputation would carry with you. So evolving from a 150-person tribe, you came in and you had a bad outcome, you'd be kicked out the tribe. And this is where they say it comes from if you read a lot of books on evolutionary psychology. Or even if you look at small communities, if you're in a small community, let's say back just in the 1800s, and say, for example, you go talk to the butcher, you go talk to the baker or something, you needed a job from them, they didn't give you a job, you might not be able to get employed in that entire town. And that's still how we're operating today. It's not much different today. When we go to talk to somebody or try to get a result, what happens to us? We sit there and we say, well, if I don't get this, it's like the couple days after or whatever the case, couple hours after, you feel like, well, that job's gone. I don't know how I'm gonna find a job. You're just moping, you're sitting around. And why is this? Because you've become so outcome dependent, you forgot about the process. Now, this also leads to another problem, and that's what we call self-consciousness. Of course, you could be outcome dependent and putting so much value on others, that's one thing, but then also you can be self-conscious because what? You're depending on other people for your good emotions. And what I'm talking about is every time somebody talks to you and they give you some type of positive result, so they give you that job, they invest in your idea, then you feel good. But when you don't get it, you feel bad, you feel horrible. And there could be millions of reasons why they don't do it. It could be some type of problem they're having personally. It could be something that's going on in their life. It could be a million reasons why they don't invest in you or they don't give you the job. Or you might not be a fit for that job, but you still take it personally and you become self-conscious. Maybe it was about me. Maybe it was something about me. Maybe it's something I said. And this just limits you so much in business because you can't ever get out of the neediness. What about carrying through on plans? Say you've got a business and you need to carry out a plan. But every person that comes along and tells you something, you alter the plan immediately. Well, if you've drawn up a plan and you need the results to be an exact way and it's not going that way, how are you ever going to follow through? If somebody can just come along and say, hey, you know what, I think your plan's silly, we should do it this way. And you say, okay, I'll change it up. How do you ever know if your idea will work? Then if you test the idea, the moment you feel a little hiccup, you don't follow through, how you ever going to know if your plan would have worked as written up? The best way to do this is to look at that plan, follow it all the way through no matter how bad it gets, and then tweak after, adjust later. And it's hard to do this when you're self-conscious or you need the result or you're outcome dependent. But there's one more thing, and there's one thing that I find that limits a lot of people when it comes to expression or assertiveness. People are not assertive because outcome dependence, once again. And what I mean by this, let's say you're in a meeting, or let's say you're around friends and family, and everybody's talking and everybody's expressing themselves and everybody's putting out their ideas, and a great idea pops in your head. This is like one of the greatest ideas you've ever had. It just feels like a stroke of genius to you. And what happens? You don't say it. You don't put it out there. You limit your expression. Why? Because why? Oh, well, you know, in the back of your mind, you think, well, maybe they'll think it's silly, or maybe that person will think it's stupid, or, well, you know, everybody's always told me I don't have good ideas, so you don't express yourselves. You may have innovative ideas. You may have some of the greatest ideas ever, but you choose to limit yourself. What is this again? This is, once again, outcome dependence, and it limits your assertiveness. Because what happens here is that you've put so much value on that person's values, on that person's morals, on whatever they have going, that now you feel like whatever you have to say is not good enough simply because it comes from you. You need that person to validate your ideas. So once again, going back to outcome dependence, say you did say that idea and that person said, well, that's a good idea, then you'll feel good about yourself. Well, if that person said it was a bad idea, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad idea. It just means that that person doesn't like the idea. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to assertiveness. To get anything you want, whether you're going for a job, whether you're going for an investment, whether you're wanting a certain type of social circle, whatever the case may be, you have to assert yourself. But if you're so worried about the result, is it good? Is it bad? Does this person think this about me? You're not going to assert yourself to get it because other people's values and other people's morals have taken precedence over yours. So the first thing you have to do is understand that things have value because they come from you. When it comes to business, if you're going in the boardroom, it doesn't matter if that's a millionaire sitting across the table. You still have to have some type of value when it comes to you. And that's what's going to allow you to express yourself. That's going to allow you to wow that person and get them, hey, you know what? I like your ideas. I like you. I like what the ideas you're expressing. I like everything you're putting out there. But if you're not able to do that, you're never allowing your true self to come out. You're never allowing yourself to be truly expressive and put those emotions out there so people can see the real you. Now, I wanted to talk about this because this is one of the things that I see that really hinders a lot of people when it comes to follow through and execution. They just are so dependent on the outcome that they need something to happen and they never really follow through. Now, firstly, of course, it's self-consciousness. They're self-conscious about my identity. Who am I? Who am I in relations to others? How are people perceiving me? You have to let that go. Secondly, they're dependent on others for their good emotions. If somebody tells you you've done good, then you feel good about yourself. If somebody tells you you've done bad, then you feel bad about yourself. And you just got a seesaw of emotions. Stop doing that. Stop letting other people dictate your ideas and what you need to do. And finally, assertiveness. They're not going to go get what they want because other people's values and morals are more than them. If somebody says you shouldn't do that, then they say, you know what, that person, I'm going to listen to them, I'm going to defer to them, and I'm not going to do it. And this is how we limit ourselves every day. I wanted to talk about this concept because I think this is something that a lot of people have to work on. I have definitely dealt with outcome dependence in the past. And the main reason I find, and the last point I'll make here, it's a difference between abundance and scarcity. And these are two different mindsets. Now, when we're in scarcity, we believe there's a limitation on opportunities that are available to us. Same thing when it comes to abundance. When we're in abundance mindset, we believe that opportunities are everywhere. And there has to be a balance, of course, between both. But when we're scarce, every opportunity, we're going to feel like we need it because, of course, what? There's no more opportunities coming. When we're in an abundance mindset, we come in, of course, we want the result, and there's a difference between wanting and needing. But we're not focused on it, or we're not just harboring on it too much because what? There's more opportunities. This is not the only investor. This is not the only job. This is not the only opportunity. There's an abundance of opportunities. But once you devolve into scarcity, you're going to need that result so much. And people can feel that need just coming off you. And as you're in that scarcity mindset and you think that everybody around you is trying to take all the resources, everything is limited, then you're not going to be able to express yourself truthfully. Now, I want to talk about this, and I want to express these ideas because I think this is something important when it comes to getting to being that visionary level. You have to understand these different mindsets instead of just understanding processes and what really holds you back. So if you want to hear more, you want to hear me discuss more topics, like and subscribe for more. Anything else you want to hear me discuss on the video blog, send me a comment below. Send me a message. Get in contact with me. I read all the comments, and I'll definitely discuss it on the videos. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.